Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. It was a meeting that had fans buzzing long before it even took place. Austen Kroll and Radke in New York City, two names often linked by Bravo lore, by fandom intrigue, and now by this unexpected encounter. The moment they crossed paths in the city that never sleeps triggered more than just whispers. It inspired a startling declaration from Austen that would echo through their circles, a statement that left people wondering what really went down, what the intent was, and how much this changed the dynamic between these two. When Austen walked into that meeting, the cameras weren't there, the spotlights weren't glaring, but the stakes were higher than they appeared. This wasn't just a casual hangout. By the time they parted ways, Austen dropped words that few had anticipated. Words that instantly became the hook for every headline, every social media recap, every hot take among fans. Something changed, he said. Something shifted in how I see us. Those four simple words carried weight. He didn't elaborate right away, that was the point. He allowed the tension to linger. He let people wonder whether we referred to friendship, rivalry, or something else entirely. The ambiguity was deliberate. It forced those watching to fill the blanks themselves. In that moment, when he met Carl in NYC, Austen leaned in, looked Carl in the eyes, and shrugged almost imperceptibly before uttering the line. It was casual enough to be brushed off, but heavy enough that nobody did. Immediately, questions flooded in. Did he mean partnership? Did he mean respect? Was it a warning? A confession? Or simply a tease? Austen's voice held a mix of defiance, sincerity, and just enough playfulness that no one could pin him down. In the hours after the meeting, the Bravo fan world erupted. Clips, screenshots, reaction reels, all of them circulated. Everyone dissected the phrasing, each nuance, the body language captured in cell phone footage. But Austen had already anticipated the spin cycle. He followed up in cryptic posts and veiled comments, refusing to back down. He leaned into the mystery, cultivated it, letting it simmer in the collective curiosity of fans. Carl, for his part, responded with a grin and a line that felt rehearsed yet genuine. Don't sleep with your friend's girlfriend. A jab. A playful dig. A reminder that the game they play is loaded. The remark hit because it wasn't merely banter. It carried history, loaded with past entanglements, past wrong turns, and unresolved tensions. Carl's quick line underscored that no matter how polished these stars appear in public, the relationships between them are built on moving pieces and shifting alliances. After that meeting, Austen's social media showed a change too. His tone grew sharper. His posts carried more edge. In interviews, when asked about the NYC meetup, he danced around the question, refusing to offer full clarity. Instead, he offered hints, half-answers, reminding fans that sometimes what's said in person stays in person. He teased that the statement was meant for Carl alone, that it carried layers, some meant to be decoded, others to remain obscured. Meanwhile, Carl's camp, always savvy, responded in kind. He would drop comments in public panels, in podcast interviews, in throwaway lines on other Bravo events. Subtle reminders, references to trust, loyalty, knowing your place, and boundaries you don't cross. It was enough to keep the narrative alive, to keep speculation active. Fans began to interpret Austen's surprising statement in multiple ways. Some viewed it as a shift from rivalry to alliance, that perhaps Austen was signaling a new era, from competing to collaborating. Others saw it as a veiled threat, a declaration that Austen wouldn't be played, that he knew Carl's history, that he was staking his territory. Some believed it was simply a moment of emotional honesty, a crack in the armored celebrity facade that the public rarely, if ever, sees. But beneath all that intrigue talk, there was something subtle to note, the way Austen delivered it. No exaggerated gestures. No shouting or accusation. No theatrical flair. He said it quietly, almost as if half to himself. And that made it more potent. In showbiz, it's often the underplayed moments that land hardest. Let's rewind to the minutes just before the drop. The meeting in NYC likely began with small talk, pleasantries, references to mutual acquaintances, updates. But Austen approached with a purpose. He wasn't there to reminisce or soften tensions, he was there to disrupt. To reset. to force a new dynamic. And that statement was the pivot, the fulcrum on which everything turned. One could imagine Karl's internal reaction. Surprise, pride, slight irritation, curiosity. Did he see it coming? Did he anticipate being challenged so directly? Did he weigh countering immediately, or playing cool? The way he responded publicly with that clever line shows he opted for a buffer, a shield, a reminder that while Austen's move was bold, Karl would meet it with composure. In social media aftermath, reactions ranged from Austen finally spoke up to Karl's quietly winning. Some fans praised Austen's courage to make a bold move. Others warned he was stepping into a battlefield with an opponent who doesn't easily lose. Comment threads were dissecting. He met Karl, then said something about us. Is he apologizing? Claiming? Proposing? Threatening? The ambiguity was both the danger and the draw. As days passed, Austen referenced the encounter in subtle interviews. When asked what his surprising statement meant, he'd pause, smile, and say something that needed saying. When prodded further, he'd pivot to other topics but always carry the weight of that NYC moment in the way he answered, in his posture, in his tone. Karl, too, would weigh in panels, never directly issuing a rebuttal. He'd make jokes, shift topics, or drop references to loyalty and boundaries. He reminded people that in their world, lines are drawn, and crossing them has consequences. But he never publicly conceded or backed down, leaving the ambiguity intact. That ambiguity, who had the upper hand, who would cede ground, is now part of the story. Observers began speculating on what this means going forward. Will they become adversaries in new conflicts? Will they find a truce? Will one of them fold or concede? Is this the start of a power shift in their Bravo universe? Some predicted alliances would crack, that new allegiances would form, and that this NYC meeting was the spark for a new chapter. What's fascinating is that the meeting itself of two Bravo stars colliding in the city became a stage for personal diplomacy. No crew, no camera crews that we know of, just two men, their words, their histories, their stakes. It's in that private-public tension that the surprising statement gained power. Because if it had been aired as part of a show, or scripted, it would lose potency. But as a real moment, unscripted and unpredictable, it reverberated. For Austen, that statement gives him something: control. He claimed the narrative, forced Karl to respond, and made fans pivot to him again. He disrupted the status quo. For Karl, the challenge is now clear: maintain composure, respond in kind, and not allow the narrative to box him in. And as the weeks roll on, every public appearance between them will be magnified. A glance across a room, a half smile, a comment at a panel, any of it will be connected back to that NYC moment and Austen's surprising statement. So what do we take away? Even stars known for drama and spectacle can wield the quiet power of a well-timed, underplayed line. That public personalities often speak in code, and fans become detectives. That relationships in this world, friendship, rivalry, love, betrayal, are rarely simple. And that the best moves are sometimes the ones you don't fully explain. In the end, Austen's surprising statement after meeting Karl in New York did more than ignite gossip. It redefined their dynamic. It forced audiences, insiders, and rivals to pay attention. It gave Austen a voice in the ongoing storyline and compelled Karl to adjust, to respond, to hold his ground. Now, as both men move forward, that moment will live in their shared history. And every encounter from here on carries the weight of those words, the words Austen chose to drop when two paths crossed in the city. Quite possibly, the most powerful truth is not in what was said, but in what remains unsaid. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching.